What's up? It's Miho here in the Bloodworks Live studio with Tate Tucker. How are you, man?
I'm good. Happy to be here, man.
Yeah, you brought the good weather.
I try to do that. I try to do that. Works like 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. So you have an interesting upbringing. Both your parents are entertainers, kind of. And I want to know, did they ever like make you pursue the arts? Did they? How was that growing up?
You know, like yes and no. It was a super creative household, so it was it wasn't like a pressured thing. You know, my sister was playing with clay since we were like 3, and it was just like, go do it, throw your paint against the wall, babe. We went to like alternative Montessori schools, so it was kind of like inevitable. We did choirs and things like that, but I was never like the creative in the family.
Was that because like they're kind of from the Midwest and they had strange upbringings?
Yes.
That I researched.
Yeah.
So were they more like, just do what you can, just explore your mind?
Yeah, like my mom basically ran away from home when she was like 17. And my dad pretty much did the same thing, like went straight to the Air Force out of Detroit. So I think they wanted to give us just a choice to define who we were and just start fresh as parents, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty much.
You ended up going to Georgetown and you took a class with Michael Eric Dyson.
Yep.
Which is kind of where you got your start.
Yeah.
You freestyled for Lupe there. You ended up taking the class.
Yep.
Did he influence you in any way? Like with politics, your writing, English, and all those subjects?
Dyson? Oh, man. Like, I think I was really, I wanted the world. You know, I wanted people to owe me things at that age. So I always wanted this relationship of like uncle, you know, so I was never grateful for what he did give me. And he gave me so much, man. He gave me a belief, you know, a validation, an understanding of what my platform could be, and a real understanding of what it meant to be black and educated, you know? So those are things that like are very, you're 20, you're 19, you're not processing those lessons. For sure. You're just like, can't you post me on your Twitter? Yeah. Can't you get me popping? Can you call Lupe back? But yeah, I learned so much from him.
Do you still talk to him? I
need to reach out to him. One of his assistants was like getting his PhD, and he would always kind of check in with me. I got this book coming out. You should come in and visit. And I haven't reached back out. So that's like on my list. Visit my family in Detroit. Yeah. Hit Dyson back.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Uncle Dyson, shout out. I love you.
You also said that you're an avid reader. Growing up, you read a lot of books.
Yeah.
Dumas.
Oh, man.
Toni Morrison.
Yes.
Is there any current authors that you're really into? Because my goal this year is to read 12 books in 12 months. And I need some new books. And I wanted to know if you're reading anything that I should be reading.
I would always, contemporary authors are tough for me. I'd still say Toni Morrison's probably like the most contemporary author I am enamored by or with. Richard Wright, I would always recommend. I know he's not new. And geez, Devil in a Blue Dress. Can someone help me out with that? Devil in a Blue Dress. Come on. Oh, I'm going to remember it. I will remember it. All right. And then I always just say read The Alchemist and The Four Agreements. Those books are, you know, my whole value system pretty much is derived from those two books. I reread them.
I started The Alchemist and I was young, so I wasn't getting it and I was frustrated, so I put it down.
Right.
I think it's time to revisit it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You had a lot of side hustles. You worked at sneaker stores. You were tutoring up until a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And then you talked about like you did that to reinvest into your current career and what it is now.
Yeah.
As you level up, is there like plans to like reinvest in your communities?
Oh, my sweet
I know.
spot.
I mean, it's kind of a hard thing to talk about, but like Nipsey was doing that.
Yep.
And so like that's kind of at the forefront of every artist, musician of like, how do I reinvest and level up people with me? So I was just curious, like,
there's not even really like an alternative plan. There's not like a concurrent, you know, building of the ego and building of the community self. It's very intertwined for me. You know, that's why I deviated from politics to music. So it's the way I see it is hopefully through the music, I'm nurturing people. You know, as I grow, I get older and more self-aware. I used to want to strip my discography, but it's sort of like tattoos, you know, they're a reflection of where you are at that point in life. And I have to be proud of that. So to say that's all to say, I do want to found a literacy program. You know, I haven't figured out what that looks like, how it looks. I did that in 8th grade. I made one for the elementary school for kids with disabilities and on the spectrum, and that was really successful in that little small community. So I'm always looking to see where there's a need and not just prescribe where my strengths are. And on top of that, community gardening has always been huge for me. My mom worked at the California Endowment, so like all the grants in California went through her organization, and community gardening is just the future. You know, we have to be able to teach kids the whole process of that, you know, the assembly line start to finish, to see the food, to see what goes into it. Yes. So those two things are really important for me. The mind and the body are so intertwined.
Dope.
Yeah.
Now let's get to your music. You have an EP coming out soon, Shangri.
I just got a release date.
Oh, when is it?
I just got one. May 31st.
May 31st.
Woo! Shangri-La.
You heard it here first. All right.
I'm so excited,
and
guys.
Your new song, the single Breezy.
Yes.
I read from an opinion piece. The lead single from his upcoming is charged with an LA energy that's sunny and dreamy, but distinctly restless. What do you think of that?
That's me in a nutshell, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's calm on the exterior. There's always something going on up in the dome.
For sure. I listened to it and it's on my playlist now.
Yes,
I love
thank
it.
you.
And this encapsulated that single.
You think that was?
Oh, dude. Because like there's
Thank you.
it has this amazing vibe, but you could tell the lyrics, there's like something troubling your spirit.
Oh, yes.
So
that's so cool that you can pick up on that, because I think some people don't invest enough to care about the subtext, but the existential crisis of first being black and second being American, because I think everyone can deal with that. That's an identity crisis in itself. So that dichotomy is working itself out through the music,
For
you
sure.
know, subconsciously.
Also, like, maybe I'm wrong, but I got a little like heartbreak in there. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you know, and that's, I think personally, like, love for me comes to my craft as well. And I have been hurt. I have had trust issues with this industry. It has taught me to sort of cover up my vulnerability a little bit, which is tough, because to be powerful, you have to be vulnerable. And so it's working through that, you know. Being myself was tough. Getting a label that supported me through this was so amazing. And there's like, be yourself, you know? And that's not always so easy. So
For sure.
That's cool you picked up on that, man. Thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Tate Tucker, May 31st. Check out his EP.
Woo, Shangri-La. Keep it breezy.